Hello and happy Friday. I'm just going to jump right into it. Today, I want to talk about a way to think about your routines um, so that you can tweak them and adjust them to fit your life. I know that there have been many times along my Flylady journey where I'm just like, yeah, this is not working for your girl. And I really had to get creative in tweaking the routines and the program to fit my life. Um, And so I want to talk to you guys about that today because one thing I feel like I see a lot whenever I'm going through some of my comments and also reading comments on other people who make videos about Flylady is basically this whole idea that it's too complicated for them or it's too much to do or I did it for like 2 days and then I fell off the bandwagon and so now all hope is lost. And I feel like adjusting and tweaking is like one of my strengths, girl, because with the way my life is set up, things are just not consistent for me all the time. Things change, things flow and ebb. My children grow, and like my toddlers have gone through different stages, and things that I could do 6 months ago are absolutely not appropriate for what I'm doing now with them being able to crawl and pull things out of cabinets and drawers and stuff. So you can just call me the tweaking queen, girl. Okay, I'm just being silly, but yeah, I really want to talk about that today. And my hope is that by sharing some of the actual tweaks that I make in my program, it will give you guys some ideas on how you can tweak the program for yourself. And if my tweaks are not appropriate for your life, I hope that you'll walk out of this with at least some mental tricks on how to think about your program so that you feel confident to be able to change it and to make it work for your life. So, yeah, so let's go ahead and jump into it. So, like I said, one of the issues that I see is I just feel like some people are really having a hard time sticking to the program and or any cleaning routine. That was certainly my case before I started Flylady. I would try to find and print off all of these like cleaning routines and stuff, and like I would do them for like 2 or 3 days, and then I somehow or another I would just get to a point where I'm just like, I'm good. I'm good. Good morning. Thank you for joining my live video. So, okay, let's see. Okay, so yeah. And so I think a lot of the reason why I would get thrown off, as I mentioned before, is a lot of the routines were too complicated. They didn't really fit my lifestyle. They didn't really fit my personality. They didn't really fit my energy levels. So there was just a lot of mismatch there. And before Flylady, I didn't really take the time to think about like how can I make this work for my life. And so I totally relate to a lot of people who look at the Flylady program and you're like, it's just not working for me because I felt that way with other programs, and at times I feel that way even with the routines that I have now. Adjust and tweak things all the time. Hello, Anita. Good afternoon. It's morning here where I am. It's morning here in Texas. Where are you guys from? Let me know down in the comments below, or let me know in the chat box. Where are you guys from? Okay, so yeah, so basically I wouldn't stick to anything, and then it's just kind of like I was just going from doing like a really good job to like doing nothing because I'm like I can't cope with this, I can't stick with this. And so yeah, sometimes it's necessary to have, okay, cool. Okay, so sometimes it's necessary to have routines that can be adjustable to your life. And so one of the things that I started doing when I started Flylady is I started asking myself different questions. I think before I used to just be like, oh, this doesn't work, time to move on in my life. And so now what I do is I just ask myself, like, what is the actual problem? Like, why am I not able to stick to this routine? And then I start asking myself, like, what are 3 things I can do right now to make this better? So, for example, I used to be overwhelmed with laundry, and I would just be like, girl, like, what the heck? Like, why are you having such a hard time doing this one load of laundry per day? And I realized that the issue was for me, I was waiting until too late in the day when all my energy was gone to be trying to fold laundry. And so, what I started doing instead is I said, okay, well, before you start a single routine in the evening, before you cook dinner, before you do anything, when your energy is the highest, baby, that's when you gonna fold that laundry, okay? And so that's what I started doing. And like after doing that for like 6 weeks, folding laundry is not an issue for me anymore. And I honestly don't have to do it at a specific time anymore. And so another routine that I've had to tweak and play with is like, for example, like during the Flylady swish and swipes, I just was not feeling doing that in the morning. And so I had to ask myself, like, what could I do to make this feel easier for me? And so one adjustment that I made was like, well, let's just go back to doing it once a week. And that worked out for some time. And now I actually started doing my swish and swipes at night because I feel like there's less going on at night. And so that's just kind of like the mindset that you have to have is like, what are things that I can do to make it easier? If I feel overwhelmed, what are 3 things that I can do right now so that this doesn't feel overwhelming anymore? If I don't have energy, what are 3 things that I can do to adjust this around my energy levels? If my kids, if this is too much to clean or too much to pick out, and I'm referring to children's toys right now, what are 3 things that I can do to make this less of a problem for me? And so when you start asking yourself this question, that's a really good way to help yourself adjust your own routines and tweak them to match your style, your life, your energy levels. And so that is one thing I do a lot. And so if you start getting into, when you start getting to the point where you're asking yourself these questions, one thing that's going to come with that is you're going to have to be open-minded. I feel like for me, I do a lot of things that now that I don't think I ever would have thought to try when I was before Flylady. I think we kind of, as a society, have these expectations about how cleaning needs to look and how we need to go about cleaning our home. And I feel like all of those expectations, well, not all of them, but a lot of them have been completely crushed for me. And I do things way differently than I think I've even wrapped my mind around what I could do. For example, just talking about being open-minded. Hey, welcome to the live, y'all. Y'all, I'm so nervous right now. I can't even like get my thoughts together, but I'm trying. So anyway, talking about being open-minded with your solutions. Yeah, don't fall into the trap of being like, well, that's not how it's supposed to be done. Open your mind up, try some new stuff. Like one thing that I remember very vividly being a very interesting transition for me is like how we vacuum on Flylady. If you guys are new to the Flylady program, the way we vacuum is we have 10 minutes to vacuum our whole house. And you guys, I have a 3,500 square foot house and I have 10 minutes to get that whole thing done. And so in order to do that in 10 minutes for me, it really requires some open-mindedness. I have to, like when I vacuum, there's no prepping, there's no picking up, there's no nothing. I'm literally vacuuming and kicking stuff out the way at the same time. Once again, nobody ever taught me that that's the way to vacuum, but whose floors are clean? I'm just saying, I didn't do it the right way, but who gets to walk around and feel like, okay, like, I don't see all the crap on the floor. I don't see all the little pieces of dirt that my kids have dropped around. So I'm just saying you can still accomplish the goals that you want to accomplish and not be so tied to the way it gets done. And also another thing that I've had to adjust, this one might not be a big issue for some people, but it was a big issue for me. I feel like I have to have a full load of laundry before I can wash laundry. I feel like I need to have a full load of dishes before I can wash dishes. But what was happening was I would have like a load of dishes that was like 3/4 of the way full and I felt like I needed to wait. But then by the time the next meal happened and I had like more dishes that could fit in the dishwasher. And so what I started doing is I just allow myself to wash small loads of dishes and I allow myself to work on small loads of laundry. And even though I'm probably using more product than I want to, like to me, it just makes it more manageable. And it helps me, like, it's so much easier to fold a small load of laundry. It's so much easier to knock out a small load of dishes. So, like I said, just allow yourself to just go with it. If you feel like, oh, this is the wrong way to do it. Yeah, same here. I'm like, if you feel like this is the wrong way to do it, just try it and be open-minded to it and do it first before you evaluate it. Like, don't be on the sidelines suffering with your laundry, suffering with your dishes and being like, I can't do that. Try it. And then once you try it, evaluate how it makes you feel. And then if you like it, then don't let anybody boss you around and tell you like this is the only way to do it. Just be open-minded, flexible, and try some stuff. And so basically, once you allow yourself to kind of problem solve and think about some new ways of trying stuff, you're gonna. I feel like the biggest thing that that's gonna help you with is break out of the cycle of perfectionism. I know perfectionism is kind of like a hard word because for me, I felt like in order to be considered a perfectionist, I had to be one of those people that's like, everything must be perfect at all times. And that's actually, that can be what perfectionism looks like. But what perfectionism looks like for other people is this whole idea that basically that, hi, Marie. Flylady for several years, I have health issues. I'm stopping it. Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Like that makes so much sense. Like tweaking for families, for health conditions, whatever you need to tweak for. Yes, girl, go for it, because that's what's gonna make this program something you can stick with for the long term. Is if you allow yourself to do that. But yeah, no, I was saying that perfectionism for me, what it looked like was I had this idea in my head about how I should be doing things. And for me, like those expectations were not really fitting with my life and I wasn't doing the things that I thought I should be doing. And so perfectionism is when you get to the point where you're just like, I feel like I cannot get my crap together. Like, why is it I'm working so hard and I can never do enough? That's what perfectionism can look like in some people. It's just being so hard on yourself because you're looking at everybody else or you're looking at, these fake images on the media and you're like, I need to be here and I'm here. And when there's that gap, you just are not giving yourself grace and you feel like crap about yourself all the time because you're like, I need to be here. But when you allow yourself to when you allow yourself to be flexible in your mind, to tweak your routines and to actually create systems that work for your life, it really helps you break out of that perfectionism. This is like a little thing I drew that exemplifies what perfectionism can look like for some people. If you pretend that this is a ladder with no rings except a ring on the top, perfectionism tells you that, hey, I'm down here, and in order for me to be doing good enough, I need to jump all the way here. Do you notice there's no rings, there's no support, there's no building up. I need to go all the way to the top. And so whenever you allow yourself to tweak and adjust and make things work for you, what you're doing is you're adding little rings here. You're saying, maybe I can't be here today, but I'll start here. I'll work up a little bit. And in a week's time, I'll move myself up. So breaking out of perfectionism puts you in a position where you allow yourself to grow and allow yourself to support yourself to your goal. So instead of going from 0 to 100, you're like, I'm going from 0 to 10 to 20 to 30. And if you show up and if you're consistent, then that's how you can reach your goals. To me, baby stepping and allowing myself to do a little bit at a time has been far more productive than being like, this is the right way to do it. This is the only way I can do it. And I need to go from here to here. It just wasn't working out for you, girl. So anyway, also allowing yourself to be flexible and to tweak your routines will allow you to be more resilient and more just adaptable to change, which is something that I think we all need, not only when it comes to homemaking, but I know there's a lot of moms out here who are wanting to get their house together because they have other aspirations. They want to spend their time working on businesses or passion projects. And so whenever you start working on that, the adaptability that you learn from your cleaning routines and being able to tweak stuff and go with the flow will help you when you get ready to do your passion projects and create your online businesses and do all that, because I know that a lot of the ladies watching my channel, y'all are a bunch of go-getters, okay? So yes, hello, good morning, Regina. So I'm going to talk about some tweaks that I've made to my program that just works a little bit better for my life. And I want to talk about why I made some of those tweaks. And so one thing that I do that's a little bit of a tweak in the program is I create mini routines. My evening routine was just really overwhelming for me for some time. Like, I just felt like it was just too much to do. Back in the days when children used to go to school and back in the days when kids used to leave the house, I just felt like it was too overwhelming for me. So a way that I coped with that is I started creating mini routines. And so what I would do was before I went to pick my kids up from school, I'd be like, okay, like seriously, what are three things that I can do to get ahead? Hey, Marie, thank you so much for your comment. What are three things that I can do to get ahead of the game? Like, so when my kids come home, I can hit the ground running. And so sometimes that would be something as simple as I'm gonna have snacks on the table so that when my kids come home and they're eating their snacks, I can go and do this really fast. Sometimes it would be like, let me just go ahead and swap out the dishes so that I don't have to be trying to do this with all four of my kids home with me. And so I would just be like, what are three things I can do ahead of time to just get me ready for the big routine, my nighttime routine? And so, another mini routine that I have now is I told you guys I used to really struggle with keeping up with my laundry. So, a way that I manage that now is before I can start my evening routine, before I can cook anything, before I can really dive into my evening routine, I say, where's my laundry at? I go get her, I fold her, and then she's done. And so, really putting the pressure on myself to get that laundry folded before I started anything while I'm at the max of my energy really helped me establish that routine. And now, oh gosh, I can't even tell you how big of a relief it is to just be able to like not have to see mountains of laundry all over the place anymore. And I've been working on that routine for about 6 weeks now, and I can't, it's a game changer. I can't go back. And the only way that I was able to really cope with that, like I said, is to create a mini routine before I started my real routines, like create like mini routines throughout my day to help me stay on top of that. Another thing that I do to help me stay on track with my program and to tweak it for my life is I try to pick out um, I try to be strategic about when I do my routines. For example, my kids have toys, right? I'm sure if you're a mom, your kids have toys too. And they pull those toys out from one side of the house to the other. So let's say I'm getting ready to do a hotspot fire drill, and I know my kids are awake. I'm not going to be too fussy about the toys. I'm going to target clutter that I know that once I put it away, there's a good chance that it's gonna stay put away for the rest of the day. And so I really try to assess when I'm hitting up hotspots and when I'm doing room rescues, like which of these things are going to be here or which of these things are my kids most likely to pull out. And I don't touch that stuff until my kids go to bed. So my house might look a little crazier than most, but with that being said, if I know we got guests coming over, girl, it only takes like 2 seconds to sweep that stuff up and everything else is really clear. Thank you guys so much for the nice comments. You guys are so sweet. Y'all don't even know I'm so nervous right now. Anyway, I digress. Another thing that I do is like when I'm doing my evening routines, like I will give my girls a bath, and I know that after their bath, there's pretty much no reason for my kids to be in my room or in my bathroom. So I will quickly do a 5-minute room rescue, and I'll lock my door to my room. Girl, y'all ain't coming back in here dragging stuff out of my drawers because my toddlers, they will do it. They will do it. So I will lock the door to my room and close it, and I know that that room is set for the night. And I don't really try to do too much cleaning when the babies are awake because I know that they're gonna pull toys out and stuff. And so then what we'll do is when the babies go to bed, my boys are up for an extra 30 minutes. So that's when I'll have them pick up the toys so that the living room looks nice. And I know that I don't have to worry about the baby's dragging stuff out. So really thinking about when is the best time to handle this, just because like there's something glaringly in your face, like I need to fix this, I need to fix this. Sometimes it might not just be the best time to handle that if you want to manage your energy appropriately, because that's when you kind of get into that whole feeling like you're on a hamster wheel, like I just keep cleaning this same stuff over and over again. And a way to get out of that is to, like I said, really be strategic about the timing of when you do stuff. Another way that I have adapted this program to fit my life is it kind of goes back to being strategic about your timing, but I really try to do my routines when I have the most energy. Like I do not expect myself, I don't even put that pressure on myself to be sitting down watching Wendy Williams and expect myself to get off the couch. Like I don't even watch Wendy Williams like that. I don't know why I keep using her as a reference. I used to, but girl, I ain't got time to watch TV right now. But I only do my cleaning around breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And the reason is because I'm already up, I'm already moving. So I'm like, let me maximize that time. And I'll just spend doing my 15-minute morning routine and then my 10 minutes of my weekly home blessing task. At lunch, I'll do a midday reset. And then at dinner, obviously my dinner routine is 15 minutes, but if I combined everything that I do for the evening, it would probably be longer than that. But I break my evening routine up. Like I told you guys, I do a little bit after bath time. I hit hot zones, I usually hit my hot spots up while I'm cooking, and then I'll do one big cleaning at the end, like once everybody once the babies are down and my boys can help me pick up toys and stuff like that. But I am really conscious about my energy levels. And then in between breakfast and lunch, your girl ain't cleaning. I'm not cleaning nothing. I spend that time hanging out with my kids. I spend that time working on like my YouTube thing. I have a podcast now that I'm working on. And same thing between lunch and my evening routines, I'm not cleaning. Like the house will probably start falling apart a little bit because, I have kids, they like to pull stuff out, but I'm okay with that. I'm very okay with that because I know that if I'm hitting my routines at morning, lunch, and dinner, like it will never get too out of control. And if I'm thinking of ways, like if it is getting too out of control, if I'm asking myself, like, what are 3 things that I can do to improve this? And I pick one of those solutions, it won't get more out of control than what I can handle. And I know if anybody says they're coming over and they'll be here in 5 minutes, I can pull the house back together in about 5-10 minutes. So I try not to like stress over the small things. And so another thing that I do to help tweak these programs for my life is my house is kind of like on the bigger side of what I've lived in the past. My house is about 3,500 square feet. And for somebody who's messy, going from like living in an apartment to a house this big, it was a shocker, y'all, because I was like, I could barely keep up with my little small apartment. Like, and now I have a whole house that I'm responsible for. And so I don't fall into that pressure of feeling like I have to clean my whole house to perfection. It's not happening. But what I do to tweak it for myself is I pick a few key areas in my house that are the most important to me. So like that entryway, my living room, my kitchen, my master bedroom suite, my kids' room, my kids' bathroom, and like everything else, I just touch it when it's time to do like my zone cleaning. Maybe. Basically, I allow myself to really grow into my routines. Like I said, I pick the areas that are the most important to me, and those are the areas that get touched pretty much every morning and every night. Everything else can wait for zone cleaning, or it can wait for me to grow in my skills. For example, doing that swish and swipe, y'all, I got 4 bathrooms in my house. I'm not about to walk through and swish and swipe every bathroom. Not yet. LaDay in a year's time might have that kind of stamina, or a day in a year's time will have older kids who don't need to be hovered over all the time. I could do that in the future, but for now, I'm just like, I have my main bathroom and my master bathroom, and I have a guest bathroom, and I try to hit those up. And then as time goes on, now my husband helps me with the boys' bathroom, but now I can add that to my list. And then as I get stronger and improve, then I can be covering all 4 bathrooms. So don't feel the pressure that I need to be room rescuing every single room. I need to be swishing and swiping every single bathroom. I need to be wiping every single window. Just pick the ones that will give you the most relief and the most peace in your heart. And then start with that. And then in like 4 weeks time, it takes about 21 days to build a habit. So about 3 to 4 weeks, then be like, okay, I feel really good about my routines. And I promise you guys, if you don't have a good cleaning routine, I promise you, because I'm going to say this because I needed to hear this myself. I promise you that if you just stick with the routine for 21 days or a little bit longer, it will get to a point where you don't even think about it anymore. Like, it is not, like, this whole routine thing is really not a joke. Like, for somebody like me to be able to change from being a naturally messy person to like doing things without thinking about it, it's like, it's a really powerful thing, and it will really change your relationship with your home and with cleaning. So basically, allow yourself to get to that point where whatever you're focusing on, it doesn't bother you anymore. You don't think about it anymore. There's not that resistance. And then be like, okay, now what else can I do to level up my routines and level up on the next thing for 21 days? Currently, I think, what am I working on right now? Swish and swipes. That's the thing that I'm working on. I kind of took a step back from swish and swipes. I did the weekly cleaning routines. And now that I feel like, okay, like I'm not thinking about the laundry so much, swish and swipes are kind of like my focus of this month. So just have like a monthly focus. It's not a race. And if your house is anything like mine, it's been looking crazy for a cool minute. Your house is going to be okay while you build yourself up and build up your routines. Okay, the next thing is, that was pretty much what I was going to say, strengthen one routine at a time. Like, just have one routine that you really focus on and build it up. And then the last thing is just allow yourself to be as flexible as possible. Give yourself so much grace. Like, if you're not doing things in the way that you really want to do them, or you're not showing up as often as you want to, just be like, okay, I'm good. There's always tomorrow. Like, girl, I've been trying to zone clean all week. I'm I'm so behind on zone cleaning. I'm like, what zone am I in? Like, that's how bad it is. 2 to 3 times a week. Yeah. Yeah. Um, I think that's a good idea. Like, instead of trying to do it daily, just do it 2 or 3 times a week. Good morning, Jean. Thank you for joining in. So yeah, like I've been so behind on zone cleaning like this week, trying to do this homeschooling thing. And girl, it's a hot mess in here, like trying to homeschool with these toddlers running around pulling everything out. I'm so behind on zone cleaning. I was just thinking yesterday, like seriously, what zone am I in? And so today's Friday. I try not to like stack too much on myself when it comes to zone cleaning, because that's like an extra 15 minutes of just focusing on an area. So I had two main things that I wanted to focus on this week for zone cleaning. I got one of them done at the beginning of the week, and today's Friday. So I'm gonna try to really focus and squeeze it in today. I wanted to wipe down some walls, y'all. Y'all wouldn't believe, one of my children, we ate popsicles outside, and he walked in the house and stuck his little popsicle hand on my wall. So I was like, you know what? This is a great time to just go through my whole house and just with a little magic eraser and just get as many spots off the walls as I can. I'm gonna set my timer for 10 minutes, and whatever I don't get to this month, I'm gonna get to it next month. But that's pretty much my main thing for today. And so just give yourself grace. Like if you notice that you're not able to do zone cleaning as often as you want to, just be like, okay, I'm gonna do it twice a week. I'm gonna do it once a week. I'm gonna give myself these little 4 tasks, and I'm just gonna do that. Like really give yourself grace and allow yourself to grow and to develop and to step into doing this thing, y'all. We don't have to do it all at one day. We don't have to, I don't know, we just can give ourselves so much grace if we allow ourselves to and tweak it and make it work for ourselves. It may not look like what everybody doing, what Rachel and Nicole and all them doing. Just do what works for you, even if it's not quote unquote the best way or the perfect way to do it, and allow yourself to grow. Bringing back my chart. Allow yourself to grow and slowly build up to being the homekeeper that you want to be. Don't feel like you have to be at 0. This is where I was before I started Flylady, and feel like you got to jump all the way up there with no support. Allow yourself to build yourself up. Break the chain of perfectionism. And instead of saying this is not working for me, allow yourself to change your mindset to, okay, what's the actual problem, and what are 3 things I could do to make this not a problem for me anymore? How can I make this less overwhelming for me? This is too much to clean. How can I make this less to clean? And just really allow yourself to be open-minded, especially when things, like for me, I was talking about vacuuming earlier and having to just feel like I'm doing like a really bad job at it. We call it bad cleaning. Flylady says bad cleaning blesses your home. I really had some like visceral reaction. Like when I first started doing that, like I felt it in my gut. Like, girl, you doing this wrong. Like this is not right. This is not the way it should be. You suck. That's what I was telling myself. Until I put that vacuum away, and I was like looking around my house and being like, okay, girl. Okay, I see you got, you got half the stuff up off the floor. I see you. You didn't do it perfectly, but you did it good enough, and it's enough to improve my mood. And I can always go back when I have time and energy. I can always go back and make it and do it the way that it ought to be done. So anyway, that is my talk for today about tweaking your Flylady routines. You guys, if you guys have any questions about the program, making it work for your life, please let me know. Leave your questions. I have to get ready to go downstairs. Homeschooling, morning routines, y'all know the drill. But please let me know, because I want to do these live videos where I'm answering questions that you guys actually want to know about. I feel like right now I'm just guessing, but I really liked this to be like, like a little community or whatever. I want this to be more interactive. So if you have questions, please leave them down below. If there's anything specifically that I can share about my routine, or if you just want to chat, just leave your comments down below. I'm going to see if there's a way I can go back and look at the chat from earlier. I know I'm not the best at reading and talking at the same time. Okay, so I'm looking at comments. I'm making sure I didn't miss any questions. And thank you guys. Thank you for everybody who came today. Thank you guys so much for watching and leaving your comments. That's really nice. And all right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and start my day. I hope that you guys have a great one, and hopefully I will see you guys in the next live video. All right, bye. If I can figure out how to stop the live, girl, I don't know what I'm doing. Girl, how do I get out of here? I really don't know what I'm doing. I'm just like pressing buttons. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, here it is.